Hi there, my name's Luke. Welcome back to Photo Bite. Today it's something a little special. We have the Leica M10-P. Let's get into it. So the Leica M10-P is new out from Leica. It will be going on forward from their M10, but they've done a few different things that Leica isn't expected to do. First of all, if you look on the front, you can't see any Leica logo because they took that away. The only evidence you have that it's a Leica is obviously its M design, but also that it says Leica on the top. Apart from that, it is designed to be quiet, it's designed to be discreet, and that is what they're aiming for. So this actually has the quietest full frame shutter on the market, making it even quieter than the M film series that we date back all the way to the M6. So it really is quite a quiet camera. On the inside, you're looking at a 24 megapixel full frame CMOS sensor. When you're looking at the lens, you're still rocking on with the M mount lenses, the Summicron. Right now we have the 90mm on there and we've really enjoyed it. It's been great for portraiture. When it comes to the design of a Leica M, it's designed to be discreet, designed to be simple, and that's what you get with this camera. So there's no autofocus built into this, is all manual focus. It is a rangefinder style as well, so it means you will look through here, out here, but it won't be completely accurate to where this is. So anything close up, it will be a bit to the side, but it's just something that you'll get used to. When it comes to actual functionality, to control your aperture, it will be on the lens. To control your shutter, it will be on the top. And then to control your ISO, you'll push it up and you'll dial it into what you want and then push it down. Now this is one of the first Leica M series cameras to get a 3-inch touchscreen and also built-in Wi-Fi. They have done it with their previous models in the other series other than the M, but what they've done with the M series, with the M10Ps exactly, is they've made it ideal for street photography and getting into spaces where you don't want to be seen, which is why they've taken away the logo. It's why they've also made it a quieter shutter, and using it out on the field, it really has demonstrated that. I've gone around, I've been shooting in the streets for a bit with it, and no one really pays much attention to me. In fact, they don't even try to see what I'm doing. They just ignore me and just move on. So it's been really great to get into little spaces where you don't want to be seen. And being how quiet it is, you can basically get away with getting really close to people. So, I mean, this is how it sounds. It's really, really quiet. If you compare that to a DSLR, it'll be much louder. The sound wave also lasts a little longer, but this is very short and very quick. So it doesn't sound like much at all. And when you go into the menu system, it's very simple, very easily laid out. Leica didn't want there to be buttons distracting people on the back. This is a camera that you can design around yourself. So you take a picture, you don't get a preview unless you hit the playback button or you want to go into the menu itself. When it comes to the battery, you're looking at about 400 shots. Some people are getting a bit longer. Because it's not using a live view, although you can with this one, you can get a bit further, so you can get more 600 shots. When we've been playing with it, we don't tend to lose that much in terms of battery. It does depend how you use it. If you're very heavy on the settings and the live view, that'll reduce the number of pictures you take. But if you're keeping it to a film style camera, you can get anywhere from 600 to 800 pictures, depending on what you're doing. So the optical magnification on the viewfinder is 0.73 times. So basically it makes everything nice and wide, very easy to see. You're not squinting trying to make out what it is you're taking a picture of. So it makes it really easy to focus with it and really easy to use as well. What they've done to help improve that is your buffer is 5 frames a second. But on top of that, they've also using their Leica Maestro 2 processor. So when you're going around, you're taking pictures, it's not going to slow the camera down and you're going to be able to treat it like you would with a film camera, except you can actually put in SD cards that are up to 2 terabytes. And currently those are not on the market. But when they do come out onto the market, this camera will be compatible with them. So when it comes to the ISO, you can dial this up all the way up to 50,000. On the dial itself, it only sets itself up to 6400, which is pretty much standard if you look into film. It's very easy to use. What's nice about it is you push it up, you then dial it across to the ISO you want. When you get past that, you have manual, so it means you can use a little dial on the back to control it. There is only one dial that's multifunctional, or you would just switch it over to auto and push it down. Now there isn't any auto on the aperture itself, so you will need to control that, and there is an auto on the shutter. So if anything, you will be an aperture priority for most of it, and then you can choose if you want to take control of the ISO dial. One of the issues I've had with it at the moment is just trying to get the ISO dial is a bit tricky. Sometimes it's very stiff, which is okay because you're not going to be changing it that much. But for someone who's going into different scenes and environments, it does become a bit of a struggle, especially when you got to try and get your fingernail under there to push it up. But pushing it down is very easy. Once you find the little knack, it's okay. But just make sure you keep trying to get that feel for it so you don't have to keep playing with it. The shutter, very nice. There isn't any lock function, so if you are a bit of a fiddler, you will be moving it, but it's very easy to set. You can go in between the numbers as well, so if you're between 250 and 500th of a second, you can go in between and get like 360 as well. And then when it comes to their Cimmicron lenses, very easy to use. Rangefinder with it is very nice. It's a very, very good pairing and easy to use. When it comes to people who are used to autofocus, you're not going to like this camera purely for the fact that it is all manual, so it's something to get used to. But if you're someone who's very patient and you just want to go out there and take pictures and you want to enjoy the process of taking pictures, this is a lovely camera to use. If you're a person who likes Leica and they want to show that they have a Leica, this probably isn't the one for you, because obviously there isn't a logo on the front. It's designed to be discreet. The only thing that tells you it's a Leica is the top here, and if someone knows a Leica when they see one, then the design will be the first thing that gives it away. The kind of people we see using these are mainly wedding photographers, portrait photographers, primarily street photographers. That's where people are going to see this being the perfect camera to take out, especially if they don't want to go with a smaller sensor camera. That quiet shutter is an absolute perfect thing to have. With Leica's lenses, you know you're in good hands when it comes to optical quality, but it does come at a price. The body alone is £6,500, and on top of that, whatever lens you get could be anywhere between £1,000 to £2,000. So do bear that in mind. This is an investment camera. This is a camera for life. So this isn't a camera that when the next model comes out, you would upgrade to it. You can if you want, but it will be at a price. So do bear that in mind. There are alternatives out there, such as Fuji's line. There is also the Sony RX1s that are out, but for someone who's after optimal quality and wants a real rangefinder style camera, then there really is nothing that beats it out in the market apart from a previous Leica model. When it comes to Leica's colors as well, they're very nice, they're very soft, but they're not too harsh. I've just pretty much shot in JPEG for this, and I have done the raw files, but I haven't really touched them. I've just primarily been working with the JPEGs. I just like the colors of them, and they've been really easy to use. Even when going out into the night, switching over to high ISO, I'm really not worried. Although if you are very picky about how your pictures come out at night, I highly recommend checking out Leica's black and white JPEGs. They are absolutely amazing. The whites are very soft, the blacks are very deep, and it gives you a true film camera look. And that's what Leica's well known for when it comes to their cameras. So if you're after even black and white pictures primarily, this is definitely a camera to recommend. So that's our review of the Leica M10-P. If you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe. And as always, my name's Luke, this is PhotoBite, and we'll see you next time.